On this day, the 23rd of November, 1248, the Siege of Seville ends. Seville was one of the greatest Moorish cities in Spain, and this marked the end, almost, of the reconquest. It did mark the end of the main part of the reconquest. The rest, which only consisted of Granada, would have to wait another 200 years, until 1492, when Isabella and Ferdinand finally took Granada. The Reconquista had begun way back 781 years before 1492. The invasion of Spain began in 711. Year 711. The Christians had been thrown back, the Visigoths. They'd been destroyed, and the Moors got as far as Tours in northern France. They were pushed back bit by bit, and initially the Reconquista was successful. Over a period of a century, they took back quite a bit of territory. It was back and forth, but in the 13th century, the Reconquista went up a gear. All of Portugal was liberated, all of what was then the Crown of Aragon was, and all that was left was Andalusia. Al-Andalus, as the Muslims called it. It comes from the old word, coming from Vandal, Vandalus, as the Vandals had made this territory their home many centuries before. The Siege of Seville started in July of 1248, and it continued until November. The people within the city fought bravely. They attempted to break out, they attempted to end the siege, or break the siege, but they couldn't do it. Ferdinand III, who was the King of Castille at the time, he was the first Castilian king that used naval forces during the Reconquista. So his admiral, Ramon de Bonifaz, had 13 galleys that sailed up the Guadalquivir River. They scattered a force from the Lord of Seville, the Moorish Lord of Seville, and they then blocked the river. They also seized bridges going over the river and completely encircled the city. Without access to the surrounding lands, without help from allies, and many of which were now gone, Cordoba, the greatest Moorish city in Spain, had fallen in 1236. 2 years previous to the Siege of Seville, Jaén, I think that's pronounced, Jaen, had fallen as well. The fall of Cordoba had sent shockwaves throughout the Muslim world, apparently. But no one came to help. So Seville was by itself. Except from Granada, there was no one on the mainland left. There were appeals to Moorish princes and lords in modern-day Morocco and Algeria, but very little help was sent. There were some people in North Africa who wanted to go, but they were all involved in internecine conflicts themselves, so they were busy. So in the previous summer, 1247, Castilian troops had begun to isolate the city to the north and to the east. The east was important because that's where Granada was. They didn't want any forces coming from that power down from the mountains, the Sierra Nevada, rescuing the people of Seville. The locals, the people in the city, apparently used artillery loaded with rocks. Now, I didn't find any confirmation of this. Perhaps it was when they ran out of cannon. But they did put up a good fight. However, throughout the autumn, famine set in. And by this day, the 23rd of November, the city could no longer hold out. The people were starving to death. They needed to surrender. So after the surrender, they were given 1 month to sort their things out. They had a choice of staying and converting, or leaving and going to a Muslim place. It's said that 300,000 people left Seville, although some say this is an exaggeration, but it does show you the size of this great city. If 300,000 people left, how many people stayed? What was the population at the time? Around 500,000. One of the great cities of Europe. On the 22nd of December, Ferdinand finally made his triumphant entrance into the city. And it's said that when he and his men went into Seville, they were amazed at how beautiful and impressive this city was. Indeed, he made court there for a while because it was such a sumptuous city. The cathedral, well, the Grand Mosque, became the cathedral. I think it's in Cordoba, the Grand Mosque, they started to build a cathedral inside the Grand Mosque. And the cathedral inside the Grand Mosque was a bit stumpy, not that great looking. They were going to tear down the mosque once they'd built the cathedral inside, but they kind of gave up at some point, which is good, because the cathedral, which was the Grand Mosque, is quite an impressive piece of architecture. In Seville, they turned the Grand Mosque into the cathedral. And it was from here, Seville, that Spain would trade with its empire in 200 years. Seville was the port where all Spanish galleons came with their gold and their silver and their trade, and the potatoes and the tomatoes and the chilies and the chocolate. It was this city that was Spain's connection to the Americas. It was this city which became stupendously wealthy once again. So, Seville, 23rd of November, 1248. On this day, the Moors surrender to Ferdinand III, King of Castile. If you like these videos, come back for more. Like, comment, and subscribe.